Hey everyone, Travis Robertson, CEO and founder of Robertson Coaching International, where we help people just like you create businesses that support your life, not businesses that run your life. And today what I want to talk with you about is the beginning of a 3-part series I'm doing on fear and how do you understand and overcome your fears. Think about all the fears that we have that tend to hold us back. And we make our fears out to be these big, monstrous things when in reality, I'll be honest, most of our fears are actually really small. You see, what people don't understand is that we are only born with 2 fears hardwired into us. Only 2 fears. The only 2 fears that we are hardwired born with are the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Everything else, you guys, other than those 2 fears, is a learned fear, a learned response, which means just as easily as we learned it, we can actually unlearn our fears. Now, I'm going to break fears and phobias into 2 different categories. What we're not talking about in this series are phobias, right? Like fear of spiders or fear of snakes or bats or birds or whatever your fears are. You're going to have all your different fears. That's fine. That's not what I'm talking about. And I hate spiders, so that's mine. I hate spiders, so don't send me spiders. But I'm talking about actual fears that we look at and we go, this is a fear that's holding me back. You know, I'm afraid of this, or I'm afraid of that, and I'm afraid that if I try this, something else is going to happen. And so what are those fears? And if we understand these fears and we understand that they're not as big as we make them out to be, we can start to understand how do we battle that fear and attack that fear and ultimately overcome that fear. So what I want to do is I want to cover the 3 different types of fears that we have, because almost everything that we classify as a fear that's holding us back from achieving something we want to achieve falls into one of these 3 categories. And today what we're going to talk about is loss pain, L-O-S-S, pain, which is a type of pain that when we say, you know, I'm afraid of taking a certain action because something else might happen, we're afraid of doing something because we feel we might lose something on the other side of it. So it oftentimes presents as all the what-if statements, right? Like, well, what if I try and achieve this in my business, but in order to achieve it, I have to give up all this time with my family or my kids, right? Or what if I don't take evening appointments with my clients and I lose the deal? Or what if I don't answer my phone at 11 o'clock at night and it's an emergency and I lose the client because they're upset with me the next day? That's a form of loss pain. We're afraid that trying to do something great in our lives or better in our lives is going to result in something that we're going to lose that is too painful that we don't feel like we can survive without. And that's a form of loss pain, and it's a real thing. I mean, I'll be honest, for me, that's one of the big ones. You know, of the 3, that's probably the biggest one for me is I have to battle with those what-if statements. I think we all have some form of fear that drives us, and for me, it's loss pain. It's understanding that, you know, what if I do this and I don't succeed? I remember my very first speaking engagement is like, what if I bomb? Because it was like a big, massive room and I was so nervous. I actually made myself physically sick, like not nauseous, but I had like a sinus infection. It was just awful because I was so nervous of like, what if I do this? And I agree to take this speaking engagement and I bombed so bad I never get another speaking engagement ever again, right? I was afraid of trying to do something great because of what it might cost me on the back end. So how do we battle it? How do we defeat this form of fear? Well, what we have to do is what I call flip the script. We have to change the what-ifs. We still play the what-if game because that's what our brain is hardwired to do, but what we have to do is we have to change the what-if game to more of a positive game. So what if, in taking this speaking opportunity, I actually do really well and ultimately get more speaking engagements coming out of it? And that's ultimately what's led me to the success that I've been able to have, is because I finally did it and I realized that, you know what, no matter how bad I am, I'm gonna learn something in the process. And yeah, okay, so what if I bomb? Nobody knows who I am anyway, and nobody's gonna remember who I am next week. So worst case scenario, I'll just change my name and go on and do something else. I mean, there's always a way around it. We just have to play the what if game on the positive side. You know, what if you don't take evening appointments and people start to respect you for respecting your family time and valuing your family enough that you say, you know what, I can't take an appointment this evening because I promised my kid I was going to be at their soccer game. And so I can meet you tomorrow morning, or I can meet you on Saturday, or whatever the other time is. But understand that by respecting your own time, other people are going to respect you. And if they don't, they weren't the right client for you anyway. See, when we only play the what-if game on the negative side, we blow these big or these little things into big issues, and all of a sudden something that's so small has such massive control over our lives and our future and our choices and our decisions and our business and our actions and our hopes and our dreams and our aspirations. And all it is this little fear that we've allowed to grow into this big monster because all we've done is entertain bigger and bigger negative consequences rather than thinking about everything we stand to gain if we take the action and not worrying about what we might lose that wasn't really valuable to begin with in the first place. So that's what I want you to be focused on in terms of loss pain. What are the things that you're thinking about? What are the what if questions you keep asking yourself over and over and over again? What if I go for this income level and I lose this on the backside? Or what if I try and achieve that and everybody makes fun of me? What if I try and do video and everybody thinks I look ugly, right? You know, all the different things that you may be worried about. What if I look fat? What if I, all those different things. I want you to write out, take some time, write out every what if question that you hear yourself asking. And then what I want you to do is I want you to flip the script. I want you to come up with the positive version, the more optimistic version of that, and see what it does if you start understanding that if this is the negative script, what's that positive script look like? And how do I start rehearsing that one over and over in my head so that now the what ifs start to work for me, not just against me. All right, so there you have it. That's how you deal with loss pain. Now in the next 2 episodes, we're gonna talk about what we call hardship pain and also outcome pain. Hardship pain and outcome pain. And we're gonna understand what impact those have on our lives and how we can overcome those fears that are associated with the process or the hardship and ultimately the outcome that we may be afraid of, right? The fear of success that you hear people talk about, that's outcome pain. So I'm gonna show you in the next couple of episodes, how do you deal with the process pain and ultimately the outcome pain. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like the video, subscribe to us on YouTube, leave a comment below. Let me know, what are the negative scripts in your life? What are the things that you're hearing? What are the what if games that you play with yourself? And maybe share your flip of the script with somebody else below, because you never know who's gonna need it. You never know who's going through the same things that you're going through, the same struggles, the same fears, the same doubts and concerns. So make sure you share this with somebody, because you never know who needs to hear it. And you guys, I look forward to serving you in the next video. Take care.